welcome back. In this new video, I'm going to introduce you to another audio system that I made using MetaSounds and blueprints in Unreal Engine. This time we are going to navigate into a vertical mixing, so it's a music system this time. So the idea of this system is to be able to turn on or turn off each layer of this music. It has 3 instruments. It's a music that I composed, so we are going to play this music, or to stop the music whenever we want, just pressing the buttons. So first let's test it into the game, and then I'm going to explain the blueprint and the meta sound. So let's go, let's press play, and there is the pad button. When I collision, it begins playing. I was trying to animate these little robots here. It's a whole test scenario, but let's concentrate in the music. Here is the piano. So I turn on the piano. There it is. And we're going to look for the drums. Hello, little dancing robot. Here it is. Turn it off. No drums anymore. I'm going to stop the piano also. No piano and no pad now. Okay, that's it. Well, this is interesting because, well, I can play with the layers, and let's go to the meta sound first. In this meta sound, I have just 3 wave layers, one for the pad, another one for the piano, and another one for the drums. But here the secret to turn on and turn off each one of them is to have here an input for each instrument. So here we have the pad play input. When we say, okay, let's select this value, this is a bool here. If it's true, okay, we're going to connect it to the attack of an ADSR, and if it's false, we're going to trigger the release. This is just for the fade in and fade out. But the thing here is that we connect the output of this to the gain of the stereo mixer. So here we're going to just say, okay, depending on this bool, if it's true or it's false, it's going to be played, this instrument, the pad. And depending on if I just play it or stop it, we're going to have a fade in or a fade out. That's because if not, it's too drastic. We're going to hear like the music stops so suddenly, or begins with no fade in. It doesn't have sense because it's going to listen bad. But this way we solve that problem with this little note. This is so great. So I made that with the 3 instruments. It's the same. So when I play it, I'm not going to hear anything. But if I set the bool of the pad to true, we're going to listen with the fade in. And if I go here to the piano, let's set it true, and when the piano begins, it's going to listen. Let's wait a little bit. There it is. If I want, I turn it off or I turn it on. And the same with the drums. Turn it off. And well, this is it. This is so simple. Like, I don't even have to use quartz here because it's a so simple objective. I just want to turn on or turn off layers, so I don't need to really to use quartz. If I had transitions or crazy other things, maybe yes, but it's not the case. I just can use boolean parameters and that's it. So let's go to the blueprint. I made a blueprint, a bottom blueprint. This lens color, well, I left this name, but lens color is the bottom actually. Yes, it's just this bottom here, and I programmed its behavior. So let's see where I made. Well, let's start with the collision. I say, okay, every time my third person character collisions with this button, I'm going to flip-flop to iterate between turning on the bottom and turning off the bottom. Here I set it to on. Setting this to on is just changing the color here first of all. I changed the color. I said, okay, let's turn it into green with the material, okay? But then I did the same with red here. And I set the bool to false, okay? After that, I changed the colors and set this boolean. I said, okay, and let's set the parameter of the material, okay? So I made a parameter in the material that it's the color, and I sent the value, okay? So I made that. After this, set the color, change the parameter, and then set after this I set the parameter of the audio component. Finally, I said, okay, my target is my music component, okay? Target is audio component, where I have my metasound. Here, for example, I can show you here that I have my metasound. And I said, okay, the name is the name of the parameter is my instrument that I made here, that I made just a name variable type, and that I changed to, I made it instance editable, okay? So I edit it in here, in the outliner. But, oh my god, I just closed it up, sorry. Well, and I changed the bool. So depending on this instrument, I'm changing the bool. of the button pressed. Okay, it's so simple. Like it's it. I have the instrument. For example, here is pad play. That is the parameter I made in a MetaSound. And then I have the boolean of button pressed. And depending on this that I set here before, I'm going to change the boolean of the MetaSound parameter. So here, this is it. And then I set the text to say, okay, this is the pad bottom, this is the piano bottom, and this is the drums bottom. So I can edit here in editable. I just connect the name with the text. I said the value is the instrumental name. Okay, and let's see these values at these editable values. If I search here lens color, I have the 3 bottoms, and each bottom, here we have the instrument and the instrument name. So this is it. I hope you like it. Bye bye.